This Abu Dhabi Grand Prix Betting Picks 2025 edition of the NASCAR Gambling Podcast here on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog. Underdog is hooking up new customers. Play just $5 and get $100 in bonus funds when you sign up with our promo code RACE, SGPN.
Driver, start your engine!
Strap in and pull those belts up tight as the Sports Gambling Podcast Network presents the NASCAR Gambling Podcast.
I'm just gonna put my foot on the floor and I'm not lifting till I see God or a checkered flag.
My man.
With all the news and the best bets for your NASCAR weekend.
We want to thank you tonight for these mighty machines that you brought before us. Thank you for the Dodges and the Toyotas. Thank you for the Fords. Lord, I want to thank you for my smoking hot wife tonight, Lisa. In Jesus' name, boogity, boogity, boogity.
Now, here are your hosts, Rod Villagomez and Cody Zeeb.
All rise. The 710th episode of the NASCAR Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is in session. The Honorable Cody Zeeb and Rod Villagomez presiding. Welcome in, everybody.
Yeah, that's the appropriate way to start any NASCAR-related. I mean, it's not really a NASCAR-related episode, but it's a NASCAR-related show. It's sort of in the name. So, yes, we shall proceed as though we're in court this week, Rod.
Telling you, it's okay. So to be completely honest with you, right? I listened to some of the pre-trial stuff. I was listening to NASCAR Sirius XM, and got a little bit of their takes on this trial that's ongoing now. Obviously, if you're living under a rock, NASCAR is on trial now against 2311 in Front Row. So I listened to that, but I have not listened to anything since because I feel like I want to binge it all. I don't want it piecemeal.
It's binge worthy, Rod.
Right? Like I feel like this is a show that they're putting out episodically, and I want to wait till it's all done so I can just binge it all and get it all at once and feel the emotions and the roller coaster ride that is this trial. But you've been keeping up with it, Cody. You've been following it.
Yeah, it's very unfortunate that cameras are not allowed in federal court because this is not being recorded in that way, which is unfortunate because this could be an entire, big part documentary, Netflix, the whole thing. Like we should have tried to, appeal to the courts and allow the cameras for this thing. But yeah, make sure you go check out The Teardown. Jeff Gluck, Jordan Bianchi, of course, they're writers for The Athletic. That's a Dirty Mo show. If you've not listened to it before, they're great. Just in general, great dudes. And yeah, they've been in the courtroom every day. They're coming out of the courtroom and sitting down and jumping on and talking about the day in court. And they're doing it each and every day after court's over. And it's definitely been very fun. And we were just talking about it before the show. I've listened to the last 2 days, Monday, Tuesday. And then I was listening to the third day here before we jumped on here. So I'll have to finish it in a little bit. But yeah, it's been spicy. A lot of things are coming out. We've got some interesting people coming up as far as testifying. Rick Hendrick, Roger Penske. It sounds like maybe both of those guys were trying to keep some financial stuff out of it. The court said, nope, not going to do that. So we're going to learn a lot. We've already learned a lot, right? We've learned that Denny Hamlin makes $14 million a year from JGR. We've learned some other financial stuff that's definitely interesting. 2311 is turning a profit. Front Row's losing $8 million a year. A lot of interesting things there, right? But yeah, it's definitely been interesting so far. And very curious to see where it ends up going, what ends up happening. And how it potentially changes the future of NASCAR.
I must have missed. I was checking my mail. I didn't get the subpoena to show up and testify, so I'm still a little hurt that I wasn't invited to the party.
Yeah,
true. Emergency witnesses can be called in this instance, so I'm waiting.
Yes. They might be doing
either
it
side. I don't.
Just they're waiting to tell
point,
you so that you don't. Or maybe that's why Rod hasn't listened to any of the coverage, because he is going to be a witness and he can't talk about it because I don't think that's allowed. So possibly that's the answer.
They called me to want to be a juror, but I was like, I got too much. We had championship tickets on Denny Hamlin this year, so we couldn't testify. But
possible conflicts there, but
just a little conflict of interest. But you shouldn't be conflicted when you head over to the merch store and use this is a last chance for the merch store and to use our promo code. You're running out of chances. If you want to get anything that is up on this screen or some of the fine racing gambling podcast stuff that is out there merch related, it's our last chance on the merch sale. You can get 25% off. That's everything in the store, 25% off until the end of the week. If you use the promo code HOLIDAY, which I suggest you do, and do it now. Don't wait for the slip to tell you that you are a witness in the NASCAR trial. All right. We've talked about NASCAR enough. This is, of course, an F1 episode. The last race, Cody, we had the penultimate race last week, and now the race after the penultimate race is the finale. And here we are, Abu Dhabi, my friend, and the championship battle got a little bit closer, and yet still is up in the air heading into this week.
And don't worry, more NASCAR talk later on this week. We'll be back on Friday. Obviously, we're going to talk F1 today, talk some more F1 tomorrow. Back on Friday, we're going to talk Snowball Derby. There is some at least outright odds out for that. Some Cup drivers, some other NASCAR guys competing in that. So have a fun conversation around that coming up this weekend. And then, yes, we'll catch up on all the lawsuit stuff that we know, at least up to that point, which will be tons of fun. But yeah, as you mentioned, heading into the final race here, Max Verstappen closed the door ever so slightly more, right? Closing in, I guess, on Lando Norris. So as we come into this one, he is, 14 points behind. Nope, that's not right. 12? I can't do math very good. It is 12 points, Rod. 12 points behind Lando Norris heading into the final weekend here. And Oscar Piastri, only 16 points back. So technically within striking distance, I would say, barring obviously, a big issue by Max or Lando. I guess they would both need to have it. Oscar could sneak up there and get it, but likely we are down to the Verstappen verse Norris type thing. And I was pulling up the points, so you can earn, it's 25 points for first place if you do win a Grand Prix here. 18 for second, so that's obviously a 7-point difference. 15 for third, so that's your 10-point difference. Fourth is 12 points, so it's a 13-point difference from first to fourth. So, if Max can, so I think if Lando finishes, I'm trying to do the math here. So if Lando finishes fourth or better, third or better, he gets it. If Max, no matter what Max does, if Max wins, then Lando has to finish third or better, I guess would be essentially how it goes.
I mean, that's a lot of mathing, Cody. So good job to you for getting that done. But I will say this. I will say that Max is just going to have to win. Like literally that's what we're all about right now. Max is just going to have to win, because if he doesn't,
the last 2 weeks.
Yeah. And he's back to Max again, right? I mean, feels like a little bit of old times watching Max Verstappen cross the finish line in first place. And I feel like this Red Bull team, and with a couple of the things we're about to talk about here in a second, a little jolt of energy. JDK checking in saying, "Evening, fellas." Evening, JDK. So I guess that
plenty of talk over in the Discord, by the way. Rowdy and JDK keeping it going as they usually do. They'll get you caught up on all the court proceedings and their opinions as well over there.
It's beautiful stuff, man. It's cinema. It is straight cinema, as the kids say nowadays. But no, speaking of F1 news, right? There's plenty of it to be had already. Silly season beginning for the Formula 1.
Rod, silly season wrapping up, because this has solidified the grid for 2026. So a couple of pieces of news came out over the last couple of days. Isack Hadjar, we've talked about him a lot here lately. Of course, he runs for the Racing Bulls. He's getting promoted to the Red Bull team, he will be alongside Max Verstappen in 2026. We talked about how that was, probably going to come down to between him. And we thought that would probably be the case, right? Is that he would take over, and he is taking over that ride. So great news for him. Yuki Tsunoda, who he's replacing, not going to be on the grid for the first time in a while. He will remain with the Red Bull family. He'll be a reserve driver, test driver for 2026. And some rumors about some IndyCar stuff. We'll see. I don't know. I would imagine he'll try out the reserve things, hoping to find a way back in. And we've seen Red Bull, the least scared of all the teams to shift drivers around, make moves. They've obviously got the second team, which basically helps them, right? There's no other team that has a second team on the grid like Red Bull does. And so that allows them more flexibility to swap guys in and out more than other teams, but they are definitely willing to move things around. Yuki obviously was put into the Red Bull car after Liam Lawson started the season there. So who knows? We'll see. He's going to stick around with the team. And then to replace Hadjar over in the Racing Bulls is going to be the young Arvid Lindenwald. He's a very young kid, up and comer. He's going to jump into that Racing Bulls car to go alongside of Liam Lawson. And we now know our 22 drivers, Rod. Of course, Cadillac joining the grid next year. And I believe I saw, was it our buddy Preston had posted something about, I guess that was with Mercedes, but PepsiCo with Gatorade and Doritos is going to be with Mercedes next year, which is an interesting side note. I was thinking that was Cadillac, but that is Mercedes. But that solidifies the 2026 lineup. We'll know all 22 drivers on the grid now.
And, for Isack Hadjar, we did talk a lot about him over the course of the short time that we were covering F1, but he did earn himself that right. I mean, obviously with Liam Lawson, they thought, all right, we'll put him up there. We'll see what he can do. Obviously that didn't pan out. So you bring up Yuki Tsunoda because Yuki Tsunoda has been the staple of that Racing Bulls squad for a while. Again, when you put Isack Hadjar and Yuki head to head, it was Hadjar coming up in the lesser equipment, right? And I put that in quotes. In the lesser equipment, Hadjar has been handily beating Yuki Tsunoda. We're talking 6th place finishes. We're talking consistent points finishes, or even close to the points finish where Tsunoda just wasn't getting it done. And the writing was on the wall. Now, Cody, I am super excited for the shake and bake possibilities that we get out of Hadjar and Verstappen, because, when it was Max Verstappen and our buddy Sergio Perez, right? There was a lot of shake and bake action going on there. I feel like you can get to that point with Isack Hadjar in this, I guess, big boys equipment.
Yeah, and that's been the crazy thing about the last 2 years or so is, it's been the one-sided Max show. They're trying to figure out that second car, haven't been able to figure it out. How much is the program falling off? You go through losing, the team principal, all that stuff. But if Hadjar is the answer, and Red Bull can kind of get back to what we've come to accustomed to with Red Bull, which Max is obviously his own case, but if they can strengthen that second car, if Hadjar is the answer, we saw Checo be very competitive, win races, run well in that car previously. So, Hadjar has definitely got an opportunity to do great here. We'll see how long the leash is, right? If things aren't going well, they've shown they're not afraid to change it up, and maybe that's a reason for a guy like Yuki to stick around, or you see that with Lawson with this other kid coming in that could get the opportunity. But good to see for Hadjar getting the chance with the big team.
Yep. And like I said, I'm excited to see the outcome, and I'm sure we'll talk about it, and we'll talk about him over the course of next season. Maybe not on this show, but we'll figure out a way to fit him in there.
Absolutely, Rob.
All right. Is there any other piece of news that we should be talking about as far as F1 is concerned as we head down to the last race of the season?
I think that was pretty much the majority of it for F1 news.
Beautiful stuff. All right. Well, then we'll talk all things Abu Dhabi, but let's take a quick break so I can tell you about our friends over at Novig. We are brought to you by Novig. Novig is America's #1 sports prediction market. Novig, you are getting the best prices. There were so many great Thanksgiving prices over there on Novig, and I hope you took advantage of some of them because they still got plenty more to come. And Novig is available in 35 or more states. Go download the Novig app. Get $50 when you spend $5. If you use the promo code SGPN, get in on the action with Novig, promo code SGPN. Let's tell you about our friends over at Underdog. Underdog is your home for pick'em entries where you can win up to 5,000 times your entry. I've given you so many fantastically fun underdog picks over the course of the season. We will continue to give you more tomorrow, especially as we break down the DFS episode for this one. So stay tuned for that. Underdog's got a brand new offer. Brand new customers, play $5 and get $100 in bonus funds when you sign up with our promo code RACESGPN. Well, Cody, we are at Abu Dhabi. It is the Yas Marina Circuit, and we are set. Yas Marina. We're set for 58 laps around this 5.281 kilometer track, just over 3 miles, set for 306.183 kilometers on a track that looks like a rubber band gun, like one of those ones that you used to use to shoot rubber bands when you were a kid.
Oh, that's perfect. I was going to go with the car wash gun, like when you wash the car yourself. Does kind of look like that, but yeah, rubber band gun works. We'll roll with it.
Indeed. Yes. So there are Yas, Cody, Yas. There are 16 corners on this track, 2 DRS zones. And yeah, it's a really technical track, especially around the back end where there's a lot of chicanery and a lot of fun to be had.
It kind of gives you a little bit of both, right? You have the 2 very long straights where straight line speed will matter, but then there is the technical part of it where you are going to have your tight turns, your hairpins, your weaving and bobbing, if you will.
Not a sprint weekend, so there are no sprint races up. It is just a straight up weekend of racing that begins on the 5th of December for those of us here in America. Early in the morning with practice. Wraps up with the race at 7 o'clock, 5 o'clock my time, or on the 7th rather, at 5 o'clock my time. And 5 o'clock in the morning, guess what? DVR will be set.
Yeah, that's a DVR of the race. Make sure you get your bets in at least by the night before, right? Obviously, these bets are going to want to get in early as we see how much the F1 odds change based on the practice results, based on the qualifying, obviously. But yeah, if you're planning to put in bets for Sunday, on Sunday, probably get those in on Saturday evening once qualifying set, once the grid is set and they're ready to go.
So it was I read Lando Norris who broke Max Verstappen 4-race win streak here last year at Abu Dhabi at the end of the season. So again, the question is Max ready to get back at this again? That is the question. We are going to answer that with our picks, Cody. Where are we starting? There's a lot to break down in this race.
Well, I think a good place to start is over in qualifying. So that's where we're going to jump first. We ran this last week with Lando Norris plus 210. So freaking close. Oscar edged him out, which was great for our outright. We're like, okay, plus 750. That's feeling great. I think he was down to minus 150 by race time. You're feeling great about that. Obviously, unfortunately, did not work out for us. But we're going to go back with the Lando Norris poll, plus 210. You can get that for him to win the qualifying. He had 3 poles in a row before last week, just barely misses out on it last week. That made 5 front row starts in a row for him. He is a very good qualifier. Look, we know that the McLaren cars clearly have the best speed, right? And that seems to be consistent week to week. Now, Verstappen is able to make up for that in racecraft, and he gets the most out of the car, yes. But straight speed, straight go out there and lay down a lap, Lando's had it more than Max has lately. Oscar obviously jumped up and bit us last week, but going back to the Lando, at 2-1, over 2-1 odds at plus 210, I like it. There is sat on the pole 7 times this year, and also had the pole in this race last season as he went on to win, as you mentioned a little bit ago. So give me Lando Norris to win qualifying plus 210.
Yeah, I mean, I tell you what, the whole of the race was a little frustrating last week because so much was going on that made me the strategy was really what killed it all, right? The couple of stops,
that early safety car, and then McLaren not pitting, and I doubled down. I got the minus 150 on Oscar. I was like, he just runs away with it. There's nobody else has a shot. That was not correct, Rob.
No, it was not. His strategy, that safety car, that threw everybody for a loop. And it definitely, and then of course, Isack Hadjar catching that puncture late kind of pissed me off as well. So not a good day overall for the card, but I still feel like we can rebound in this one. And yeah, I mean, it's always a safe bet to get Lando on the pole or Max or whatever. But All right, I'm going to go with one of my favorite drivers that has just become quickly my favorite driver, and that is Kimi Antonelli. He is in Group 2 over on Caesars. He's the favorite at plus 110 to win this group, but the other guys in this are Charles Leclerc, Lewis Hamilton, and Carlos Sainz. Now, Carlos Sainz got us last week. Oh my God, the drive of his freaking life last week for Carlos Sainz, and really killed it all for us. But before that, Kimi has just been solidly in the right place at the right time and has run that Mercedes equipment better than I think anybody in Mercedes would have expected, right? And for me, I'm riding that momentum for Kimi because Charles Leclerc, his average finish this year has not been what it was in the past, like 6.9. Yeah, okay, that sounds fantastic, right? But no, because Charles Leclerc has been perennially a podium finisher over the last couple of seasons, but this year barely scraping a top 6 finish, and then not even in some cases, like last week, he got 8th place in Lusail, 4th at Vegas, which was a good day for him, but 19th at Brazil. A couple of podium finishes in Mexico City and Austin, but 6th, 9th, 19th in the Dutch Grand Prix. It's just been very inconsistent for Charles Leclerc, and can't count on him like we used to last season, which is a little frustrating because he used to be one of those guys that you could put on the podium each and every week. Lewis Hamilton, we talked about it last week. It's just not been his year. I don't know what his 2026, we do know what his 2026 plans are, but I don't know how that will pan out for him. His average finish this year, 8.5, but on a string of finishes that have just been un-Lewis Hamilton-like. 8th in Mexico City, 19th in Brazil, or 18th rather in Brazil, crashed out of that one. 8th at Vegas, 12th last week in Lusail. So again, not that great of a season for Lewis Hamilton. I will say though, the signs, like I said, got us last week with the podium finish in Qatar, which was scratch your head because that was a strategy call and then some. He drove the hell out of that race and really impressed. I thought he was going to do okay. But not that. I thought maybe a points finish. I know I had him out. Well, no, I guess I didn't because I had him outside of 12.5, but he definitely impressed overall. The last 2 races have been good for him. 5th at Vegas, 3rd at Qatar. But before that, 13th, 17th, 20th, 10th, 3rd, 11th, 13th, 14th, 18th, 12th. The last 2 races have been good for him, but I feel like they may be outliers more than they are the normal leads. So Kimi Antonelli, a perennial top 6 finisher, a podium contender each and every week, should not have a problem beating all these guys in this group. So give him to me at plus 110 over on Caesars.
I like it. I'm actually going to pile on. I'm going to jump ahead here because I've got Kimi Antonelli to finish on the podium, Rod. So if he is going to win this group, which I think that he can, I think he's going to end up on the podium. With one of these guys, it might take a podium finish for him to win this group. I'll get to that in a moment, but give me Kimi Antonelli podium. You can get it at plus 320. I think this is a great number. Really, you laid out the case nicely, but he's been on a great stretch here. The 5th place finish at Qatar, 3rd place in Las Vegas, 2nd in Brazil, 6th in Mexico. Sure, he's had a 13th place finish in there in the U.S., but back to 5th at Singapore, 4th at Baku. 2 podiums in the last 3 races. Things have been looking up. Things have been looking great. I don't think I need to expand much more after the great case you painted for me already. It was a nice placement by me in the doc, putting it after your pick. But love Kimi this week. And we're getting to that point in the season, right? It's the final race. We talk about this in NASCAR. Some people already have their vacation plans. It's always Cabo for the NASCAR guys. I don't know where the F1 guys go since a lot of them already live in paradise essentially, but they've got vacation plans, right? Maybe you don't get max effort from everybody. Not Max, right? No, that was not wasn't taking a shot at Max. So we're going to get max effort from Max, but you might get a little bit less from other people. Kimi's going to be on it. Young kid, finish out the season strong. His first year in F1. Let's go for it all, right? So love him at the podium. I think it's a great number, plus 320. Generally points finish is where I try to find my value and feel like I can find it. I didn't feel that way this week, Rod. I actually didn't put any points finishers on here. I have a double team one we'll talk about, but not one driver to finish in the points. I think podiums where I'm feeling some value this week. Starts with Kimi Antonelli. I'll continue it here with my next pick, but give me Antonelli plus 320 to finish on the podium, which again, if you're a novice F1 better, top 3.
Yeah, and again, Kimi Antonelli, one of those kids that's just taking the sport by storm, and good teammate to learn from.
Taking the sport by sport too.
Say again?
He's taking the storm by sport too.
He most certainly is taking the storm by sport. I like it. All right, we talked earlier about the Racing Bulls and how their future is settled next year. Liam Lawson is staying in the Racing Bulls equipment, and you talked about not having much value in the points or the points odds this week. And I found this. I kind of like this one, right? Liam Lawson points finish. This is plus 275.
Oh, that's right. I had 1 points finish written down, but somebody already had it in the doc. So.
Oh, that must have been me. I must have stole that.
Oh, it was. Oh, this was the one. Oh, yeah. Okay. This was the points finish I was going to give out, but Rod beat me to it. So
absolutely love it. Oh, and by the way, RIP to ESPN Bet. There is no longer ESPN Bet anymore for those of you out there. It is switched over now. So we used to get some good numbers.
Well, that's the one thing I did notice. Numbers weren't as good this week as they were previously. Selection seems similar. Interface is all the same. They just changed the name of it. We'll see when we get to NASCAR season. We really relied on them a lot last year. I'm hoping it's not too bad. But numbers weren't as good for F1 this week as they've been the last couple of weeks as we were really paying attention here. So we'll see. But yeah, don't be alarmed when your app updates to the score without the name.
It most certainly is. Yeah, I was like, what's going on here? Why? It's like when somebody moves a piece of furniture and you go to sit down and you fall flat on your ass. You're like,
this looks the same, but it's different.
Absolutely love it. All right. Anyways, back to Liam Lawson. Points finish for him, plus 275 over there on Hard Rock. He has had a points finish in 2 of the last 3 races this season. 7th at Brazil, 9th last week at Qatar, 14th place in Las Vegas. But God, that was not his fault. There was so much going on in that race. He did start in the top 6 and was primed for a points finish, but ended up falling out late in the race. So unfortunately didn't get it done there, but he was almost on his way to 3 straight points finishes. He had a 5th place finish at Baku, 8th place at the Hungaroring, 8th at Spa, 6th at Spielberg. Just has been, right there in the points or around the points over the last few races since he, I think, really solidified himself as that Visa or the Racing Bulls front guy, right? He is the first guy because Yuki Tsunoda is not getting it done. He's obviously finishing better than Yuki pretty much every single race. And so for Lawson and Hadjar, right? Both of those guys, they've been doing such a great job in those Racing Bulls equipment that it almost makes you wonder, what happened in the big boy equipment for Lawson that he couldn't get it done. So again, I think he's going to finish out the season strong. I think he's going to finish out with another points finish and really just, make this Racing Bulls team someone to contend with in the points over the next couple of seasons and then some.
Yeah, I love this play. As I mentioned, I was going to put it in there until I saw you already had it. So fully back you on this. And like I said, no other just straight points finishers on the board for me. So this would have been the one that I played. So completely agree with you. I have some more thoughts on the Racing Bulls here in a few. So we'll get to that in a moment.
Indeed. Oh, Preston checking in saying, hey guys, finally whacked a semi. Been throwing rocks since Sunday. About time I hit something. Should have company any minute now. Get in the Discord. You missed a fantastic conversation about Preston throwing rocks. Trying to get to it.
Absolutely. Gotta love it. sg.pn/Discord. Make sure you jump over there. And again, like if you don't know what Discord is, we talk about it often, right? It's just an app where we all can chat together with common interests. SGPN has an app. We got all the sports in there, all that. So Preston, frequent contributor, especially to the F1 channel, IndyCar. Love to see it. Make sure you jump over there.
Indeed. All right. Where are we going next, Cody?
Next up for me, Rod. I know you just shat all over Charles Leclerc, but I've got a bet on him. Actually, so I like your points, right? I do like Kimi winning that group. Obviously, I've got him on the podium. So I like that. But I think at plus 850, it's good value on Charles Leclerc over on Caesars to get it on the podium as well. And if he does at plus 850 and Kimi doesn't, you miss out on the podium, you miss out on the group. It can balance out, right, at a number like this. Charles Leclerc, you look at it, you think Ferrari. Oh, my God, things have been horrible. Things have been tough. Like, look at Lewis Hamilton. You talked about him a few minutes ago. Oh, it's been horrendous. It's been horrible. Yeah, I got you, right? I feel your pain. But it's actually not really been that bad for Charles Leclerc overall. So you go back and you look at this circuit the last couple of years. He's been really good, and Ferrari's actually been really good here as well. He finished in 3rd place last year. Carlos Sainz finished in 2nd place in the other Ferrari at the time. then back in 2023, Shaw finished in second place here. So a really good circuit for him over the last couple of seasons with Ferrari. So you like that. Go back to Qatar last week. You feel like he wasn't really in the mix. He wasn't, but 8th place finish. Okay, fine. But don't forget, he was just in 4th place at Las Vegas just 2 races ago. That's 1 spot outside of the podium. You're really close there. 19th at Brazil, I get it. But if you go back over the last 11 races, the finishes before that, 2nd, 3rd, that's 2 podiums there. 6th, 9th, 4th, 1 spot outside of there, right? A 19th in there, but a 3rd, another podium, a 4th. So in the last 11 races, 3 podiums, 6 top 4 finishes. That's not that bad for Charles Leclerc. Plus 850. I think you're getting a good number for a guy that's been very good. He's got on the podium the last 2 years here at this circuit, and he's not been as bad as it feels like he's been over the last couple of weeks, right? You just think, oh, Ferrari's been out to lunch. They've not really been that good. If you go back and you look at his results, they've actually not been that bad, right? And yeah, the Vegas one has jumped up a little bit because of the McLaren DQs, fine, but still, overall, pretty good. I like it. And I think the number is just right for this. If Charles Leclerc shows up and hits like he has the last 2 years at the circuit, plus 850, you might not see anything close to that when we get to race day. So I like that one early in the week over on Caesars.
I feel like that Wolverine meme where he's laying on the bed and he's like staring at that picture, and I'm staring at Charles Leclerc fighting with Max Verstappen over winning the race, or getting on the I miss those days. I honestly miss when Charles Leclerc was a weekly competitor, because I feel like it pushed Max quite a bit. This Lando Max rivalry doesn't feel as big as the Charles Leclerc and Max rivalry from a couple of years ago.
It doesn't. It's one of those deals where they're too good of friends for it to be like a true they hate each other rivalry. So it just doesn't hit quite the same.
No, it really doesn't. So yeah, I kind of just want this to, I hate you and I want to go beat you, and we're not going to get it right now. So, all right, what we are going to get is more bets, but we're going to get it after I tell you about my friends over at Rhythm. Rhythm has crushed NFL this season, especially on props. Been really good at identifying when to fade players and to take those unders. College basketball up and running with 300 plus schools. Rhythm has predictions for every game, every night. Pairs nicely with the daily TCE shows with Matt, Colby, and Noah. Every game, you are prepared. Super easy to sign up, run predictions off the house model, or make your own and play with the sliders. With so many sports and the holidays, makes it easy to get an elite prediction on a game so I can focus on other sports. Speaking of that, how about Thursday night football? Talk about player props. How about Javonte Williams? Rhythm is giving us under 65.5 rushing yards for Javonte Williams against the Lions. I got to say, it kind of could go that way, right? Josh Jacobs, 83 yards against them last week on Thanksgiving, which was a fun game. But Tyrone Tracy, only 62 before that. The Commanders in general only got 71 rushing yards against this stout Lions defense. So maybe you're leaning toward the under on Javonte Williams rushing yards, and Rhythm will back you up on that one as well. Build all those and more. Use promo code SGPN25 when you download the Rhythm app for 25% off of your first month. Download Rhythm and use promo code SGPN25. Selfishly, Cody, I hope they're wrong. I have Javonte Williams in a big league that I need a big night from him. So 1,000% don't want that to become true.
The emotional hedge, Ron.
That's
That's the great thing about this is you bet a lot of money on Iowa to win, and then when they blow out Nebraska, it doesn't feel so bad. Sorry. Personal note.
On a personal level, this is exactly how it feels. You know what? The disappointment of losing a top 6 finish feels? It is heartbreaking. So I'm going back to the well again for our friend Isack Hadjar, who we just got done singing his praises, a promotion to the big team. His top 6 number is set at plus 450 over on Caesars. We watched it last week. We watched it happen. We watched it. We were cheering for it all the way through. And then he caught a puncture and started to drop all those spots. But Isack Hadjar, man, I'm telling you right now, he earned that promotion for a reason, right? He's been one of those guys where we've talked about him being a top car each and every week now, and in contention for more than just a points finish, which is what we used to say about Racing Bulls all the time, right? We were always like, Racing Bulls, good points finishers. Well, now we're actually talking about top 6 finishes. We're actually considering them because, we talk about with both Ferraris not being competitive. That's Lewis Hamilton out of the mix. Both Mercedes are usually in the mix, but Aston Martin was the big 5 last season with Stroll and Alonso, and now that's fallen off. And here we are talking about Racing Bulls being in the top 6, which he was in Las Vegas, young Isack Hadjar. He did get a podium finish at the Dutch Grand Prix. He had a 6th place finish at Monte Carlo, which again is tough to do already. So he's been a top 6 finisher, and he should have been a top 6 finisher last week. He started in the top 6, ran in the top 6 most of the day till the end when that puncture took him out and pretty much pissed us off. But yeah, I mean, listen, Isack Hadjar, I know he finished 6th because of the disqualifications, but I feel like he should have had a 6th place finish anyways in that race, given what he was able to do. But again, he's got the promotion now. He's got the confidence. He's got the talent. And at plus 450 for a guy to be just that close to the top 6 each and every week, I love the number.
Yeah, I love it as well. You gave out Hadjar to finish in the top 6. You gave out Lawson to finish in the points. How about they both do both of those things? And you get Racing Bulls, double points finish, plus 600 over on Bet365. I love this week. Obviously, you're high on both of these guys. Completely agree with you on the Hadjar top 6 case. Completely agree with you on the Lawson points case. And if both of those things happen, they're both inside of the points. Even if Hadjar doesn't get the top 6, I'll take 9th and 10th place, right? I don't care how they get in there, as long as they get in there and get the double points for you. I like that. So you mentioned it, right? Last week, Hadjar running good, has the late deal there. And Preston points out the worst part for Hadjar is he told the team it was happening, and the reaction was essentially, yeah, fucking right. And then the tire blew up. So he knew it was coming. They didn't listen. That always sucks, but is what it is. Running well, we'll take that part of it. 9th place finish for Lawson there. You go back to Vegas. Hadjar finishes in 6th, as you mentioned. Okay, maybe it was 8th before the disqualifications, but 6th in the record book. Lawson started in 6th place, was running well, had a tough day, had some issues there, finished in 14th, but they had the speed. That's what you're looking for, right? Is opportunities to get them both in there. Brazil, they did it, 7th and 8th place. That cashes this. Baku, a few races before that, they did it. 5th for Lawson, 10th for Hadjar. Got it done. They've done it a few times lately. They've both been looking good as we've gone down the stretch here. Hadjar part of things, he gets the big boost, right? You got the call. You got the confidence. You're going up to the big leagues next year. You're going to be on the Red Bull team. I saw a picture floating around of like 12-year-old Hadjar meeting Max Verstappen just like 6 years ago, Rod. But now, right, you meet this guy that's a legend already in the sport at that time, and now you get to be his teammate. I mean, he's on top of the world. They're going to come into this type of race. This is the type of race where I like betting on young guys. We talked about it, right? Lewis Hamilton is probably checked out. Like, what? It's been horrendous down the stretch here. Like, what's he really racing for at this point? We need to get to the offseason, reset for next year, start over. But these guys, these younger guys, you love having them late in the season when the juices are still flowing. You know what it was like to be young one day, Rod, a long, long time ago in a galaxy far away. You still had all the energy to get to the end. And I think that the Racing Bulls will have the energy to get to the end. So give me them to both finish in the points, which again is a top 10 finish for both of them, basically at 6-1 over on Bet365.
Several commercials over the course of football and racing will argue that I do not have the energy that I used to have and that I need their product in order to revive that energy. So I'm just saying,
I think the Red Bull, or in this case, the Racing Bulls that's flowing through these guys will be enough this weekend.
I agree. I totally agree with you on that one. They need not the product that is being advertised all over these televisions nowadays. All right. We talked about Kimi. Let's talk about George. George Russell. I'll put him on the podium. Plus 125 over on Caesars. Not a gigantically huge case to build for George Russell that doesn't already exist. 9 podiums this year in 23 starts, 4.5 place average finish on the season. Podiums at Las Vegas. Obviously, the top step of the podium at Marina Bay. 2nd place at Baku. 3rd at the Hungaroring. He won in Montreal. 3rd place in Miami. And a 3rd place at Shanghai. And a 3rd place in Melbourne to start the season off. So, you know, it's Mercedes, right? It's George Russell. If something happens in Lando and Oscar and Matt Scrape, obviously we know that the Mercedes are going to be right there behind him. And for George Russell, obviously he can just get this done on his own. He does have one podium here already, third place finish in 2023. But his last 3 finishes here in since he's been a Mercedes driver, 5th, 3rd, and 5th. So swimming around that podium since he's been a Mercedes driver. And I feel like this is an opportunity for George Russell to reassert himself at the top of the Mercedes food chain, because I feel like Kimi's gotten a lot of the press. And, George Russell's like, hold on. I'm the primary driver in this one. I am the principal driver at Mercedes and I haven't gone away. So what a way to end the year than to get on the podium for Mercedes and for him and get a good race in for George Russell, because he needs it to send himself off of this season.
Yeah, absolutely. I like it. Preston would like you to address him correctly. The 2026 world champion, George Russell.
Yes, the 2026 world champion, George Russell, to finish at least on the podium in this race.
Yeah, you might be onto something there, Mr. Preston. We'll definitely be talking about that this offseason. But yeah, I expect both these Mercedes to be very good this week. They've been really strong week in, week out. Yeah, love Russell to finish on the podium there. Get creative with this next one. If you head over to Bet365, they have season match bets still available. So essentially, who's going to finish better in the points? You got Alex Albon and Carlos Sainz matched up over there. And interestingly enough, it's minus 120 on either side. But Albon comes into this race with an 8-point lead over his teammate in Carlos Sainz. They're both obviously Williams drivers. So you've got, actually it's a 9-point lead rather, 73-64. I can't. So basically, Carlos Sainz needs to get at least 9 points, but probably 10 points to pass Albon here and overtake him in the standings, which, if you look back at the last 2 weeks, okay, 3rd place, got on the podium last week, 5th place in Las Vegas. Boy, certainly he would be capable, right? So, yeah, 6th place pays 8 points. So basically, if Albon doesn't score any points at all, which he's not the last few races, then Carlos Sainz needs to finish at least 6th place to be able to overtake him. So this bet is basically saying Carlos Sainz is not going to finish 6th place or better. Yes, the last 2 weeks have been great. Yes, it's been some momentum. He's put himself, like, Vegas was the rain deal in qualifying, right? He took advantage of it, held on, got a good enough finish. I think he started 3rd place, held on for 6th place or whatever. Last week, you mentioned it, kind of took some strategy to get there, get it done. Can the magic ball come in 3 weeks in a row for Sainz? I don't know. But if you're going to spot me a guy in the same exact equipment coming into the race with an 9-point lead, okay, I'll take that guy at the same number, right? I think that's just not quite mathing out. So Sainz, as I mentioned earlier, was 2nd place here last year in the Ferrari, fine. But good in the last couple of races. Albon, this isn't really a bet on Albon, honestly. It's more of just a bet of, I don't think Sainz gets the 10 points needed to overtake his teammate. You're spotting me the points already. Doesn't finish better than 6, basically. If you want to math it out, you can get Sainz top 6 at plus 225. You might be able to bet both sides of that and come up, like if because he could finish top 6 and not even beat Albon, because if Albon finishes in the points, he gets points, then Sainz has to finish better. Like, that's the whole thing here. So a little bit confusing, but basically we're essentially betting on Sainz to not finish top 6. And if he does, for Albon to also not be in the points. So give me Albon over Sainz. This is listed as the season match bets. And it is under I double-checked. It is under the 2025 section, because they do have some 2026 futures up already, which is beautiful. But it's minus 120 over on Bet365. Alex Albon over Carlos Sainz, season match bet, minus 120.
You just need him to hold on to the lead. That's all there is to it, right? And this is something that Albon is probably aware of, because I know he wants to beat his teammate in the overall point standing.
Yeah, absolutely. And you're spotting me an 8-point lead when points for teams farther down aren't that easy to come by, right? It's 8 points when all season Sainz has only scored. This is what, the 20, or what is this? The 20 whatever race, 30 something race, 32nd race. I don't know what it is. I don't remember how many it is. but he's only scored 64 on the entire season. I know a lot of those were over the last couple of weeks, yes, but he's got to score 10 today when he's got 64 over all of these rounds we've already been through. This is a bet against that. It's not an Albon bet. It's a bet against Sainz getting lucky, doing it again. This is the 24th race, by the way. So 23 races, he's only scored 64 points. Is he going to get 10 in this one alone? That's what the bet is against.
Indeed. Yeah, I'm with you on this one as well. All right. My next one's going to be a fun one because you just invite chaos into this one. And that is, will there be a virtual safety car? I say yes. 100 or minus 115 over on Caesars for yes. Honestly, I'm not even going to try to give you stats to back it up because you've seen it over the last couple of weeks, right? It's just been nuts where races that probably shouldn't have had safety cars or virtual safety cars. This is the last race of the season. There's going to be jockeying for position. This is unlike any other, or at least over the last couple of seasons, right? Where there's actually stuff to race for more than just, your points finish farther down the road. Max has had the championship locked up by the first race of the season every year, right? And so now it's not. Now there's going to be a lot more going on, and there's going to be a lot more jockeying for position. There's going to be drivers that are looking to improve their position over the course of it. So, I mean, there's a lot closer battles this year, I feel like, than there have been in the past, which leads to drivers taking a few more risks. And I just talked about how technical that track is, right? A lot of gremlins to jump up and grab you. And we've seen virtual safety cars over the last couple of weeks already, much to everybody's chagrin. So I want you to not be pissed off when there is a virtual safety car in this race. So when you bet yes, and you hit it at minus 115, you're like, nice. I'm glad there's a virtual safety car instead of, I hate the virtual safety car and blah, blah, blah. See, so I'm giving you a reason to be happy in a not happy situation.
I believe you'll be saying Yas Marina when a virtual safety car comes out, Rod. Love it. Again, make betting fun again. That is the campaign I am running on for my next election, whatever it is, Rod. But this is the fun part of betting is a fucking virtual safety car comes out and you cash a bet. Hey, come on. That it makes betting fun. It makes the race more exciting. You're literally, you'll find yourself like, oh, put out the virtual safety car. And then when they do, you're going to celebrate. And it's like, who celebrates a virtual safety car? Unless you got a bet on it. That's what makes it great. Love it. Shout out to you, Rod, for putting that on the card. Absolutely love it. All right, over to the winner section. I struggled a lot in the winner department this week. I went back and forth. Can Max Verstappen put magic in a bottle 3 weeks in a row? Can we get the max out of Max for all these weeks trying to get this championship? Is it Lando, right? Does Lando get it done? Does Oscar looked great last week? We should have hit him at plus 750. It didn't work out. You go farther down the board, figure it out. But I think that Lando Norris is coming into this race with a lead. Let's not fuck around. I think that McLaren shows up. I think everything this week is about Lando Norris. He is the one driver this week. It is not 1A and 1B or 1A and 1A. It is 1 and 2, and Lando is the one this week. He's going to get all the attention. He's going to get everything. I already put him on the pole. If he starts on the pole, I think he jumps out. I think he's going to lead just about every lap in this thing, run away with it. Plus 250. I'll take Lando. I think that he's going to put the bow on the championship this week. I think they're going to do it in that style. The one thing that scares me just a bit is he doesn't have to win to be the champion. So if he's second to Max, he doesn't have to push it. Okay. If he's second to Oscar, which originally I had put Oscar in here, I think McLaren will swap them. I think that they will have Lando go in front of Oscar so Oscar can play defense and sit back there. We saw it with Ryan Blaney a few years ago in NASCAR, and they're actually allowed to do it in F1. So I think that could very much be the case. Max is the one that could throw the wrench in there, but Lando plus 250, I think the number's too good to pass up. As great as he's been this season, all the wins, you don't need all the stats, right? He's been amazing. Go put the bow on your first title this year. Give me Lando at plus 250. And then, Rod, Kimi Antonelli at 16-1. The story's too good because if Kimi can come out, we already talked about him being on the podium. You talked about him winning the group. If he can come out and look good, and he is a little better than Max, not Max, but Lando. If he is a little better than Lando and Lando's right behind him, He doesn't have to go get him to win, right? If he's sitting second to Kimi, fine, that's still the title. So there is that possibility with Lando. This is kind of my insurance buy on that. If he gets behind somebody, doesn't push too hard just to go win the title and secure it. Points racing, gotta love that, right? NASCAR fans, that's what y'all want. Not putting the emphasis on the win, but Kimi Antonelli, we talked about it. Young guys, we've seen young guys pop up and win these races late in the season. They figured things out. Gets to the end of his rookie campaign here. Preston's got that bet on Mercedes to win the constructors title next year. Let's get Kimi to the top of the podium to do so, to launch them into 2026. I think the kid could get it done 16-1. I want to be happy celebrating that ticket along with his win if it happens. So give me Kimi Antonelli 16-1. Lando Norris, a solid plus 250.
Two very solid bets to go along with the one that I'm picking, and it's just, I'm not getting cute with it. It's Max Verstappen, plus 165. Look, I mean, a couple of years ago, we weren't getting plus 165 at Abu Dhabi for Max Verstappen to win because it was pretty much a foregone conclusion anyways. And so this year, you're getting him a plus 165. This is it. He's got to win. There's no other. He can only control winning this race. He can't control what Lando does. He can't control where Lando finishes. All he can do is win this race and let the chips fall where they are after that. So, you put Max in a must-win situation. How many times have we seen Max come out with a win, right? It just, it does not, it doesn't disappoint.
You give Tom Brady and Patrick Mahomes the ball late when you need it to win the championship, you're going to feel pretty good that they're going to go perform to max levels, if you will, Rod. He can't control what Lando does, but he can control winning. And if that's enough to do it, what a comeback it would be for him to win another title and really cement. He's already cemented on the all-time greats, right? But that would step it up to be able to come back from the deficit he has. If he is able to do it, it would be another epic collapse for McLaren, for Lando Norris, which we've seen before. It's there is no arguing against it. It's call your shot with Lando, call your shot with Max. I'm going to take a little bit of the bigger number on the car that's been better this year, but you're getting the clutch quarterback, the Brady, the Mahomes of F1 right now. Hard to argue with that.
And think about it this way too, right? Max's stories over the last couple of seasons have been utterly dominant, right? It's just been dominance. He hasn't needed to have this sort of a drive at the end. And so all this does for him is proves to all the people that hate him and all the people like, well, you just go, it's so easy for it. No, if he comes out and wins this year, if he actually does manage to win this race and hold off Lando and Lando has something or whatever, it proves that he doesn't just have to win by being completely dominant. He can win the gritty games as well. He can win the 23-24 win. He can get it done when he's not the most dominant car out there with the best equipment in the world. So I think he needs this chapter to the story. I think he needs to be the one to go out and win this race and prove once and for all that he is the best driver in the world. That's where Max Verstappen puts a stamp on his legacy.
I'm not taking your bait, Rod, but Preston with a D-Gens only play in the chat. Lando to win, Carlos Sainz top 6, Pierre Gasly points finish 57-1 over on DraftKings. Pretty spicy. I talked about Lando to win, obviously. Win against Sainz, but if you hit this one, you wouldn't care about that. And Preston, I know, is huge on the Gasly points this week. I want to be. I still want to be. The number's just not as juicy as we were getting the last couple of weeks, so that kind of shied me away a bit, but I do like it. You know how much we have a soft spot for Alpine and for Gasly in particular, so I don't hate it, Preston. I like the D-Gen only play, Lando, Sainz top 6, and the Gasly points at 57-1. I'll toss a shekel on that.
Make betting fun again. All right. Get out the pen and paper.
So these, I know local racetracks and stuff, they all have their taglines for 2026. Is that the NASCAR Gambling Podcast 2026 campaign? Like NASCAR Gambling Podcast, make betting great again?
So spoiler alert, it will be just now. So hang
Boom.
tight. You may
Good
hear
meeting.
Good meeting. I'm glad we've had this off season.
Behind the scenes for you guys.
Guess what? We just
I just decided that right now.
I love it. This is what happens. Live television. It just brings you right to it. So,
all right. And Preston, too. Well, sorry to interrupt, but with the good point, he can finish 6th and cover your bet, I believe. So let's middle. There you go. Albon finishes 10th. He finishes 6th. Boom, you hit everything. It's just a beautiful day.
It's a beautiful day. We'll have big fat bank accounts by the end of this race, hopefully. So get out your pen and paper. These are the bets that are going to get you your big fat bank account. Cody started you off with Lando on the pole, the qualifying winner, the quali winner, as it will, at plus 210. I said Kimi Antonelli would be the winner of Group 2 over Carlos Sainz, over Lewis Hamilton, and over Charles Leclerc at plus 110. Cody gave you Charles Leclerc on the podium at plus 850 over on Caesars. I said that Liam Lawson would finish inside the points at plus 275 over on Hard Rock. Cody gave you Kimi Antonelli to be on the podium at plus 320. I said Isack Hadjar would be a top 6 finisher this week and not puncture tire, plus 450 over on Caesars. Cody said both Racing Bulls would finish inside of the points at 6-1 over on Bet365. I put Russell on the podium at plus 125. Cody said Alex Albon would finish better than Carlos Sainz on the points all season long. You can find that at minus 120 over on Bet365. I said there will be a virtual safety car, Yas, at minus 115 over on Caesars. Cody said that Lando Norris would win this race at plus 250 or Kimi Antonelli at 16-1. And I said, Max Verstappen at plus 165 to win this race, Cody. I know that's not the song. My daughter's going to cringe when she hears it because she knows it and I don't.
Hey, good enough for me, Rod. I will take it. And just to sign 6 is only 8 points. I don't remember if I said, I think I might have confused the two, but he has to finish 5th place without Albon scoring anything on the Sainz bet. So even better. I think I said he had to finish 6th, but he would have to finish in 5th place to get 10 points, which would put him over Albon, just to clear all that up. So it's the betting is basically against Sainz finishing in the top 5. So there you go.
All I see is the beautiful mind stuff going on in there, and that's too much for me. So
you should have saw me trying to math everything out yesterday and make sure I got it right. I think I still got it wrong, but the sentiment is there. You're getting a better deal than what I explained earlier, so it all works out.
Indeed. All right, well then, Cody, let's wrap this up. Send everybody out to start filling out their card. Come back tomorrow with some DFS and some underdog plays for this Abu Dhabi race. But in the meantime, Cody, let everyone know where they can find your breadth of work, which is very deep.
It is very deep, Rod. At Husker_Zeeb, you can find all my stuff there. Tons of NFL stuff. Thursday night previews already out with my best bets. Confidence pool picks are out for the NFL for week 14. I've got a bunch of college football stuff coming out with the bowl games. Basically going to have a little article on every bowl game for bowl season. That's a non-playoff game. Those will have their own separate thing, but tons of that stuff coming. Army Navy next week, Rod, which if tradition holds, I believe we'll have an episode on that. Of course, you're Army guy. I'm a Navy guy. Go Navy. Make sure you check out too YouTube, NASCAR Gambling Podcast. I'm doing the 91 bets in 91 days on the YouTube Shorts. The Knickerbockers just covered for us, so we're 11-7 through the 18 days of starting that so far. So good start for us as we'll continue to count down to Daytona. Only 74 days away, Rod. It's beautiful. All right, I think that covers everything. See you guys tomorrow for some DFS talk.
Follow me on Twitter at RJ Villagomez, where I'm completely boring, but you still probably want to catch one or two of the things I say. But yeah, there's a lot of great stuff over there as well. Talk to me, have some fun with me. And we'll be back tomorrow with DFS and Underdog. So until then, everybody, let's go racing and make gambling fun again, right? And let it ride.